From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's Voice Briefing. It's Thursday, February 20th, 2025.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Eric D. Lawrence. Cars are expensive. That's not news to anybody, but it bears repeating. It's why I didn't buy a new or used car when it looked like I might need to say goodbye to my blue 2010 Ford Fusion Sport with a V6 engine late last year. It was during a trip over Thanksgiving to visit family out of state when the engine began to run hot. A Ford garage in Pennsylvania checked it and said the water pump had failed and I'd need to replace the engine, which they estimated would cost about $5,400. It would be a high-mileage, used engine with a 1-month warranty. That didn't sound too appealing, so I left the car on the street outside my father-in-law's house and rented a vehicle for the rest of the trip back to Michigan with my wife and son. I did some car shopping, mostly online, but didn't see anything affordable, especially compared to what I was about to give up. A car that still looks pretty good, even with 164,000 miles, that I actually like and that's been paid off for years. So after a number of weeks, I asked my father-in-law to take it to a different local mechanic who confirmed the earlier diagnosis of engine damage, but recommended a remanufactured engine instead. It was more expensive in the end, about $7,900, but it essentially has no miles on it and came with a 3-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So that's what I chose. It was still a lot of money, but I think it was the better choice than picking up a new car payment, and maybe, just maybe, it'll get me another 164,000 miles.
Hey there, everybody. This is Omari Sanko for the second Pistons beat writer for the Detroit Free Press. On this week's episode of our podcast, The Pistons Post, Bryce Simon and I did a mailbag show and hit on big offseason questions such as Malik Beasley's future. Here's a quick snippet of our conversation.
From Blue Sky, do the Pistons prioritize bringing back Malik over THJ in the offseason? Seems like probably not both. Like, to be clear, you can bring back both. I would definitely prioritize Malik over THJ.
I mean, Malik is he's second in the NBA in made threes, and he's shooting 41%. There are only a handful of guys, especially at Malik's price point. I don't think there's literally anybody else you would want than that.
So that's there. I assume there's money spots where you would just say, you know what, this is pricing us out of Malik Beasley. Maybe we're better off getting whatever percent THJ is as a floor spacer for 40% of the cost, right? I think Malik's market's going to be stronger than THJ's is this summer. But I looked at the way guys got paid last offseason. I think we're going to be surprised that Malik doesn't go for as much as what you may think. When you just look at what some guys got last year, and I can see teams talking themselves into oh, he's having a career year. We're not going to pay a premium when he probably comes down a little bit or something. So
yeah, and the thing is, what team will be able to offer Malik the role he has here in Detroit with the same money that they'll be able to give? We'll have to see how it goes down, but it's just tough to see there being a better fit, when you actually look at what other teams are looking at, financially and also role-wise. You can hear that full conversation in this week's episode of The Pistons Post, which is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And as always, you can find our latest coverage on freep.com/sports.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thank you for listening, and you'll hear more from us tomorrow.